Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unbettable. I'm Mondo here with Gary and Holmes. Boys, I did it. I'm in a new spot. Haven't been around a little while. We out here. How we doing? What's going on? You guys are looking good. Well, Holmes, you're looking good. Gary, you're there. But how we doing?
Um, I'll go first since I'm the ugly duckling apparently out of the group. I'm living, man. I started my job on Monday. Had a little financial meeting yesterday with an advisor so I can, start getting my money right.
Yeah.
And shit's looking exciting, bro. I just learned what basically a 401k was yesterday. Shout out to the American school system for teaching us everything we need to know about finance. You guys really are the best. Um, but yeah, just turning into an adult slowly but surely.
Welcome, buddy. How does it feel?
Pretty ass, dude. I mean, it's a vibe. I work from home. I'm kind of going to be talking about what I love to talk about every day, which is basically talking to parents that, want their kids to go play college sports. I mean, I work for NCSA as a disclaimer. So yeah, I mean, that part's exciting, but right now we're doing training, and training sucks, but it is what it is.
Holmes?
Funny enough, I'm actually in Gary right now. I'm doing the same thing, just researching different ways to get my money right, bro. Got to make your money work for you. But I actually do know what a 401k is, so I do have at least that start. I'm looking into different investing outlets, I guess, trying to make sure I'm setting myself up, bro. But other than that, shit, just been trying to watch baseball every single night, man. This is the only sport that's on anymore.
We
You know
need the
me, I ain't watching
Nerfy.
no. What's up?
So we need the Nerfy. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah, I know. We
interrupt you,
do need
dude.
the Nerfy. We do need. I got it up right now. We're watching
I
it.
kind of got something to
Five outs to
admit.
glory currently. Ooh, Soto just ripped one into right field. That's not good.
I didn't see that yet, Holmes or Hart.
Sorry, dude. Hate to spoil that for you. Soto just
I
absolutely rocketed one into right field. Other than that, this is all we got going on right now. But I'm excited for football because football is right around the corner. So why don't we talk football?
Let's do it. And Holmes, you know what? I got the perfect thing for us to talk about today.
Wow.
Now, it's been going on a lot of debate about, who's the best receiver. What's so funny, Gary?
Nothing. I just thought your transition was funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yo, cut this part out.
Okay, I will. I will.
I'll clap it back. I don't even remember where I was.
I just thought it was funny because you were like, "Oh, now I know what we're gonna talk about." Like, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. Sorry.
Good. Don't.
That shit ain't gonna work, bro. You can't clap before you start.
I
You're gonna
Oh, I
crack yourself
can't,
up every
bro.
time.
Yeah, just cut this part out, bro. It's
got
been
you.
a while. All right. So there's been a lot of talk about which NFL receivers are going to be the best. I figured we're heading into fantasy season, might as well find out, what our personal fantasy rankings are, especially for certain positions. I mean, there's no better position to talk today than QBs. And I know you put together something a little special, so I'll let you present that. And then we'll do our top 10 at the end as Gary just laughs me all the way through this thing.
I didn't laugh at all.
Hey, dude, I freaking got you guys. I made a little tier list today with all the quarterbacks in the NFL fantasy style. This is not indicative of like real life stats, real life play. This is quarterbacks that you would want in fantasy, being on your team. And we're going to start from the top, the elite guys. There's three guys that you could be arguing you can draft in the first round: Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Those are the three. I don't think that there's any three there. And obviously, after this whole list is completely up for debate. I did this all on my own and take this from anybody. Did this all literally just sitting at work today, like figuring out what I had to do when I didn't have shit going on. Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. They're going to give you the most value across the board, all three of those guys. Next tier, pretty good. These are guys that you would probably want as starters, but you're not going to go out of your way, I think, to get them if there's better guys on the board. You got guys like Jalen Hurts, CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Anthony Richardson, and Brock Purdy. All guys that if you had as your starter in fantasy, probably feel pretty comfortable. They're going to be average most weeks. They're going to pop off some weeks, maybe have some duds other weeks. But for the most part, you'll be pretty happy with them. Third tier, this is the average tier. This is the serviceable guys. Not really the guys that you want, but like, I guess they'll make it happen. They'll make it happen. Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and Matt Stafford. Those guys, like, hey man, if you have them as starters, they ain't gonna be the best player on your team, but you're hoping they can just at least carry you to a point, maybe not get injured, just help out enough. That's all you need. Fourth tier, only if this guy is the last option. I mean, these are guys like keep them as backups. Maybe you got to fill them in on the injury. Not ideal for starters, though. Deshaun Watson, Jaden Daniels, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, Russ Wilson, or Justin Fields, whoever the fuck starts out there in Pittsburgh. Don't look at me like that for Baker Mayfield, bro. There is no way.
Fantasy, I agree. Fantasy, I agree.
I'm saying you don't, and with all the guys I just named, you don't want Baker starting over any of those
I
guys.
agree. I agree.
But as a backup, great guy to have on the bench. Absolutely. And then Derek Carr. Last tier, hell no. These are guys that you will probably not even want to invest your time in unless something absolutely drastic happens, which I don't foresee.
Carr slander.
Here we go. Daniel Jones,
crazy.
Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, whoever the fuck starts for the Vikings, Drake May, Jacoby Brissett, whoever the fuck starts for the Patriots, Bryce Young, Gardner Minshew, and then whoever the fuck starts for the Broncos, Zach Wilson or Bo Nix. That is the list. It is up for debate. I would like to hear your thoughts, and we will go into this a lot deeper.
I can't get over the Derek Carr slander. That was
that
was crazy.
So
just
much Derek
out
Carr
of the list like that.
No, I mean, overall, I think that the tier was the perfect way to really approach this because, I mean, you really nailed it on the head with, I think, the way you ranked a lot of players. I mean, the one thing I was gonna say is like sleeper watch out list is like AR. He did get hurt pretty early in the season last year, but he was on my team and I remember he was raking in points. That first game, he had a slow start, but everything after that, it was 17, 18 plus minimum, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're consistent as a quarterback, I mean, that's all you really need. As long as you're getting like plus 20 from him, that's awesome. And that's what he gives you because he not only has a fucking cannon, but he can run. Obviously, I think the run game this year will probably be a little bit more conservative considering the injury that he had last season. But I still think that'll be a viable option to have on your team.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I got a kind of shocker at the top, but we'll save that for our 10s rankings because I got reasoning behind all of them. But overall, I think that was a great list. Holmes is dead on with the descriptions of like each category, if you should get them or not. So honestly, we came into this with top 10. I came into this with top 10. Gary came in with I think 3. And then, is that overdoing it? Gary came in with 0.
I was trying my best to research.
He came in with the tier list. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I appreciate it. I mean, in terms of fantasy, dude, I mean, let's be real. Quarterback is probably one of the least important positions on the fantasy team. Like running backs, wide receivers, some cases tight ends, they're going to take a lot of precedent over quarterbacks. So really, unless you're not getting or you're not in a position to get those top 3 guys in the first round, really early in the second round, a lot of times I've had the experience like waiting back and just kind of seeing who falls to you. That's really the way you want to go. Unless there's some guy like Gary just said, if you feel really high on AR this year, bro, and you maybe want to spend a little bit higher of a pick to get him than you would normally, it's not the worst decision in the world. He got injured last year and he's been injury prone through college. So that is the toughest thing. But he showed, like you said, Garrett, so many great flashes last year, that beginning of the year. I mean, he looked like he was going to be rookie of the year. He was a stud. When you get injured, you can't play, can't be on the field, not scoring any points. So there's really only so deep you can go with that. But if you're willing to take the chance, hey man, he could pay off big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without further ado, Holmes, let's break it down a little bit more for you. Let's get into our top 10. So who are your top 10 QBs?
I can't. I can't do it anymore. Hart, your mic is not working.
Yeah, you gotta clip all these out and put them in a video of just like the most embarrassing podcast moments.
No, we're back. We're back. We're back.
We're here. We're here. All right. Ready?
All right.
Holmes,
All
tell
right.
us your top 10 QBs.
All right, top 10. And like, I am not going to put these in any specific order because, again, I have the tier list. Like, I'm going to kind of keep it there. But the top 10 for me, obviously at the top, Mahomes, Jackson, Allen. From there, I'm going Hurts, Stroud, Burrow, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Anthony Richardson. And honestly, sometimes it's a little bit of a tie for me in between Dak and Brock Purdy. But I think Brock Purdy has better weapons and is going to generate a lot more points in that respect. So I probably have Purdy at 10.
Gare, your
All
top
right.
10.
This is gonna be kind of an off the dome list, so bear with me. So for number one, I'm gonna go Patty Mahomes. I've had him on my team the last 2 years, and he consistently drops minimum 23 pieces, which is really good for a QB. For my second spot, I'm gonna go probably Josh Allen. I had him in a couple of my leagues. Again, super consistent, but the only problem with Josh is when he has a bad game, he has a really bad game. So that's kind of a shitty aspect of him. Number three, I talked a lot about him. I'm gonna go AR for all the reasons I stated earlier. I just feel like, if you're willing to take a gamble in one of your leagues that maybe you don't do so good in usually, throw AR on there and see what happens. Um, Goddamn, what number am I on? Number four, number
There you
five.
go. Number
Uh,
4.
Number four, I would go CJ Stroud. I feel like CJ Stroud really obviously showed who he is last year as a player, taking his team to the playoffs. And that's huge, especially as a rookie, especially for the Texans. And I feel like really he can only go up. Um, Number five, um, to save the people at home time, I'm only gonna name five. So number five, that I think is honestly a shot in the dark, but could really work out as a fantasy quarterback. I would go with Dak, just because the people around him. Oh, thank God he caught that. The people around him are pretty stacked. And I think that, the Cowboys always say it's going to be their year. So, maybe this year will be their year. And he could be a good player to have on your team.
Okay, Gare. Thank you for that marvelous top 5. Numbers 10 and 9, I put as interchangeable. Jordan Love and Brock Purdy. I think both are great up and coming QBs. Obviously, Brock Purdy has a lot more weapons around him, but I also think that usually leads to fantasy success, especially when one of your teammates is Christian McCaffrey. And Jordan Love, I feel like he's going to be a true threat for the season 2 kind of breakout year. He has been absolutely electric with limited weapons and really showed out in the playoffs when it mattered. Obviously, they got eliminated, but it still mattered. Number 8, I put Dak Prescott, and my reasoning is CD Lamb. Number 7, I put Anthony Richardson. I mean, talk about the young Gator GOAT, right? The man was absolutely dominant on the field last year. Ended up Gary's betting on a nerfy over here.
It hit, it
Ended
hit.
up getting hurt pretty early, but while he was on the field, you knew he was the best player on the field. And I expect that to transition into fantasy. All he had to do was learn how to take a tackle, and I mean, I think he figured it out. Number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, we got CJ Stroud. I mean, how can you not How can you not hype up CJ Stroud, man? Guy's gonna have an MVP caliber season. He just got Stephon Diggs as a mega weapon. That offense is gonna be potent, especially with Nico there. I mean, it is just a 1-2 punch from hell. Next, I got Joe Burrow. Obviously, he got hurt pretty early, but while he was healthy and in form, he was a great QB. Honestly, he could be a top 3 fantasy QB by the end of the year, but we'll see. It just depends on his health. Next, at number 4, I actually have Josh Allen. He can throw, he can run, but he doesn't have any more weapons on that team. And that's really going to impact his fantasy value and make him digress a little bit. Number 3, Lamar Jackson, reigning MVP. We know he's as much of a dual threat as he can have, but he's going to continue to build on the passing game, especially with Zay Flowers coming up the way he has. So I think he's going to be a good 3 option this year. And number 2, Jalen Hurts. I mean, surrounded by elite weapons, still has an elite O-line. Defense is elite. They got Saquon Barkley. This dude's in for a big year. And then obviously number 1, no surprise, Patty Ice. My reasoning was it's fucking Patty Ice. So that is my top 10. That's Holmes's top 10 and top, 32? And Gary's top 5 because that's all he can name. Before we go, because we're going to keep it a little short, these are just quick little episodes popping up until football season. Do we have any plays today? Let's at least keep that going. Do we have plays today?
For tomorrow or for tonight?
This would be tomorrow.
Shoot, I'd have to look, boy. I ain't got nothing right now, but there's a ton of baseball tomorrow. A lot of lines for ESPN Bet are already out. It's just it's gonna be tough, I think, because there's still a lot of games going on right now. A lot of games still to be played tonight. So I think that influences a lot of what the lines are gonna look like tomorrow. Maybe the rubber match in some series that could be determined by what happens today. But I don't have anything at the moment. But Gare, Mondo, do you guys have anything?
Yes, sir. I got a Nerfy lay. We got Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, Orioles. No run first inning parlay. That is going to be a great bet. Then we got a little Paul Skeens action on the bump. I'm going to hammer the over on K's there. Nice. That's no fucking brainer. Gare?
As I look through the list of sports, not really anything going on tomorrow, but if I did have to place a bet, it will be on the 2024 Euro Championship. And that is going to be a Spain money line. And yeah, Spain money line. Plus 140. Take advantage of it.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's all I can think of right now. But other than that, I got shit cooking. I've been up recently.
Yeah, I kind of got something to admit to everybody. I took a little hiatus from tweeting out my picks, and if my 2 bets go well tonight, I'll be up $450 since the time I stopped it.
Nice.
A little confession to everybody. I'm sorry that I haven't tweeted my picks. They've been 90% nerfies, so I'm sorry. But if you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, share with everyone you know. We will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.